really fair. I thought she was very loving. And I think that she really had, she seemed to know everybody and know something about them. I think she was very fond of everyone. And she didn't, she never played favorites or anything, but you had, I had the feeling anyway that she was on your side. You know, she was on your team, and she wanted you to do well, because obviously it would reflect favorably back on her. But she was great, and I think she had a little, well, probably, no doubt she had a big sense of humor, but it wasn't our role to be able to see that. But she had a little twinkle in her eye, and because her office was in the residence, we saw a lot of her. You know, she was sort of there. Not all day, every day, because she'd be roaring around the school in her big black robe and all the rest of it. But she was very much a presence if she was sort of doing work in the early evening or something. And her doors were always open. And of course, she was the major disciplinarian, too. You know, if you were in the glue, that's who you were taken to, which could be quite intimidating, I suppose. But she was great. She was really fair. I mean, she was very big on table manners and all of that. I mean, if your parents weren't and you didn't know how to use a knife and fork, you sure as heavens did when you got out of there. She sort of watched you and use the other spoon, dear, that type of thing. I think the school was her focus. I think her husband, whose name was Stanley, I believe he was killed in the war. And I remember on the top of the senior school, there was a storage room, and there were a bunch of old boxes, and there were a bunch of letters of Mrs. Clarke's that we were snorkeling through, and you know, I think there were, some of them might have been old love letters, and so, which was kind of gratifying to know that she had a life and didn't always wear a black cloak around, and you know, administer discipline and affection. But yeah, you know, she never talked about that. It was, you know, I came over from England, and here she was. And when you think back, I mean, she couldn't have been that old. And to come and sort of do what she did and get all these other women to join her, it's quite amazing, I think.